Yo, what's good with you? Uh, mm. um, is it possible for me to share this? Yeah, it is. All right. So before I actually get going, yeah. Peace. Just give me 1 minute. I'm on my phone. I'm just trying to share this a little bit. I'll be. My bad, y'all. All right. So what's good, y'all? Ken Beckford here, Brooklyn, New York's own, and just decided to go live with this, right? To just clear the air as much as possible and get it out, get it off my chest, shit like that. Individual one was good. Knowledge uprising was goody, bro. So, so, all right. How does this whole thing start? Me, bro, Sanchez. You know. All right. For those that don't know, my name is Ken Beckford. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, also known as Textiles or Tex Antoine. Right, from Brooklyn, New York. Prior to me stepping into the knowledge or the awareness of what is flat earth and stuff like that, I was somebody who was, for most of my adult life and all of my adult life studying, researching different topics, different things that some call conspiracy, all kinds of stuff, right? So fast forward to now, you know, where it's a popular thing for panels to be had and people to be on panels and discussing different topics. You know, one of the particular topics that I jump on was Bro Sanchez, right? Bro Sanchez, if you're not familiar with him, he talks about different topics. One of the things that he's known for is speaking about flat Earth. Some people also talk about syncretisms, stuff like that, right? You know, and recently I was on a panel, and one of the things that he said in regards to the number five, right, just had me thinking like that I should maybe help him to clarify it, or maybe he didn't need my help. Maybe he was, he knew what he was saying. I just wasn't sure if he knew what he was saying, or if he was what he was saying made sense to anyone else other than himself. So I asked about it. And basically what I asked about was this number five, right? He said that there's this number system, basically, and if you guys were watching, then you guys know. If you guys were not watching and you guys don't know, well, I'll explain it as best as possible. It was probably a couple of weeks ago, so you can go back and watch the video if it's still up and see what I'm talking about. If possible, I'll pull up the time frame and link the video and reference it and so forth, because my intent was not to make it seem as if he didn't know what he was talking about or anything like that. My intent was to gain clarity and to know what was what, right? Knowledge I'd rather say he saw. Yeah, he's seen it, yeah. So Billy King was good, peace. Right? And so he asked about the number five, and it was just weird for me. It was a little bit weird that he would say that the numbers end in zero, right? Like numbers don't end, right? Like numbers, yep. It's like numbers end. That zero, they start with zero, end at zero. And that to me didn't make sense. I mean, if that were the case, like, the midpoint would be like five if there's number, but there's no end to numbers, right? So then I started to think about digits and numbers. So it was something that was kind of blown out of proportion. But if we're on a panel where we're having a quote unquote build and people are learning, right? The teacher, right, who was Bro Sanchez at the time, says something, and it's, if I'm on the panel, I have the ability to do what? To ask questions that maybe someone in the chat may not be able to ask, or even ask questions that are coming from the chat if I see it, and basically also to break state, because monotony in videos, like if I was to say, man, damn, this tastes good, it will probably get your attention, right? Well, that's another story for another day. right? There are certain things people know about the psychologies and how to communicate online and stuff like that, right? So in any event, I wanted to ask a question, and I asked a question, and it didn't seem like it was taken well, right? It didn't seem like he took my question well. And first it started out with when I asked him to go in and break down this information that he wanted to break down, basically the title of the show was about debunking stuff, about so I said, yo, there's some videos and stuff out there that let's get into it. And he was like, yo, is this your show? Like, and I was like, wait a minute, like, why are you approaching me as if I'm like some type of troll or trying to control the narrative? I don't, I just feel that a lot of people come on these shows, and it's not just when they just have free time. I think that people have important things to do. So if they're going to be spending time, like, I feel like I'm not doing you a great service by being here 10 minutes and really not really diving into anything deep. Maximilian, I see. I'm just trying to read what you said here. What kid did was some of the strongest. I appreciate you, Max. Right? I do feel that what I did was kind of brave in a sense, because when you're on a platform and there's so many people watching, and it's like if you step out, right, if you go against the grain, so to speak, you're going to be looked upon as you're going to be looked upon and be ridiculed without thought sometimes, right? Truth before everything. That's how I feel, Max. And so I know numbers to be 1 through 9 or 0 through 9. If you're going to say 1 through 10, it's just like maybe for a situation, but we know that 10 is the 1 and the 0 that makes 10, right? Those digits, right, make the 10. So it's like if we have 9 digits that we use, right, or 10. We have 10 digits that we use starting with 0, right? 0 through 9. Those are 10 digits. Okay, so there's no middle one. There would be 4.5, if I'm not mistaken, right? If you go from 0, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Wait, 0, 1, no, 2, 3, 4, right? Would be the 5th. 5 would be 6, right? So 4.5 would be in the middle of 0 through 9. Okay, from 1 through 10, then that's a whole different, so it was just an interesting situation, whatever the case may be, and I just wanted clarity and stuff like that, right? And so fast forward to the next day, right? The next day I received a message. Yo, go somewhere. So the next day I received a message, right? And the message was like, hey, are you okay? Right? Because there was a lot more that I really that I'm leaving out, not on purpose, but there's just a lot to it. Max, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? And there's a lot that I'm kind of like leaving out. I wrote some stuff down, but I figured if I went live that it would be more authentic. I'd have to refer to like notes and go through all of the details. But it was even before the next day, right? Oh no, it was the next day. It was the next day. I received a message, like from someone who watched the video. There were hundreds of people who watched, if not thousands, right? Bro Sanchez probably has, 50,000 subscribers, maybe more, maybe not, whatever. Yep. And we were all shut up. You were insisting. You were insisting on thinking critical, asking critical questions, unbiased. Right. Crypto's piece. Right, Max. Yeah, that's all I really. Does this, number system come from? And I believe it was one of the bros who decided. One of the people who were on looked up the number systems from all around. Maybe looked up about 500 different images and just references to numbers, and couldn't find anything that that Mr. Bro Sanchez was talking about, right? I think you may have asked the question at the wrong time. He was dealing with astrology and nature boy at the time, if I remember correctly. Well, see, Billy Sanchez I see what you're saying, right? But the topic of the show had nothing to do with Nature Boy in particular. It had to do with debunking stuff, and yeah, it had to do with a lot of stuff. And the dude was on the show at the time, Nature Boy. He was on the show, and he actually had agreed with what I was saying in regards to the numbers. He said facts. If you can hear, I remember hearing his voice say facts. And then Bro Sanchez went into not really answering the question and passing the mic to his masterpiece. And so that raised the question. That raised my eyebrows because I put it out there. It's like if you ask a girl on a date, not to compare that to that, so to speak. But if say, hey, would you like to go out with me? And they say, well, tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day, and so forth and so on. And then they pass the mic to their friend and never really give you a sound answer, then you're still going to have the question in your mind. You understand what I'm saying? So I had the question in my mind. So I was like, wait a minute. Where did you get this from? Where is this scene? Where do we have this? And the response was that I didn't study enough of his teaching, so I don't know what I'm talking about. My thinking is too slow. All right? Have you requested a one-on-one to clarify your question with him? Billy, amazing that you asked that, because I was thrown into a one-on-one situation where if you aren't familiar, if you haven't been filled in, I was treated as if I had no sense of direction whatsoever. Treated as if I was a hater. I was told that I want to be where he is. I was probably even called a fuckboy. I had logged out of the private chat that we were in because I wasn't about to just sit there and just be talked to any kind of way because we're on the internet, So I had logged out of the chat and basically shook that nasty energy off of me. That I don't know why that was being pushed on me. I was also decided to take the HOTC picture off my page and stuff because I felt like with Bro Sanchez's influence that he would literally try to stop whatever energy that we would try to put into the atmosphere together. So I said, if it was personal, then deal with me on a personal tip. You feel me? Because he also had mentioned to the whole group that I would shut this whole shit down. You feel me? He was told the people in the group, hey, check your boy, check your man, as if, like, what did I do so wrong outside of ask a question? So this is what leads me to believe that there's ulterior motives involved. Because if it wasn't, then couldn't we just have this conversation, have it, be simply stated, hey, we have differences of opinion. This is how I see things. That's how you see things, and move on. But it's no, that I'm a hater. I want to be where he is. I've never been to Arizona. In a way, he's probably right. I do have family there. I would like to be there sometime, but no, I don't want to be in his space. I don't want to be Bro Sanchez. I'm pretty cool with being me. I've been me my whole life, and I've been around longer than Bro Sanchez on this plane. I'm good. I'm very cool in my own skin, very comfortable. So I just felt some type of way about that. So, the next day I had got this greetings from Belgium. What's good? What's good? What's good? Mar, what's good? Yeah, I like to connect with everyone who's out there. That if I see you say something that strikes me somewhere, I'm going to follow you because you have a voice, whether regardless if you're sharing content or not, regardless if I get around to watching your content or not, I'm going to be there. So, I had got a message from someone, and they asked me what had happened. They didn't like how I was treated on the call, on the panel, and they were through. They were done with Bro Sanchez, and me being someone who liked his show, who likes what he does. I don't want for people to not like what he does and not, watch him and stuff like that. I want people to learn. I want people to grow, and I want people who are in the positions of sharing information that they believe is teaching someone, or if they intend to teach people, that they know what they're talking about and that they provide people with right knowledge. And I mean that in the most purest sense of those words. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that, because I've been on here for about 15-20 minutes or so forth, and there are some other things that did transpire. I don't care about 1,000 followers. You know what I'm saying? This is not what it's about. It's not about that for me. I'm not, I don't sell t-shirts or anything of that right now. I'm not to say that I'm opposed to doing anything like that. I would love to help anybody who wants to make money online to make money online, doing whatever they want to do, whether it be selling flat earth apparel or not. Like, I don't particularly do that at the moment. I don't have anything of that stuff active. You know what I mean? I'm just merely just, here because I feel that there can be some good that comes from people knowing what's going on, knowing that they used to call the sun Helios, and Helios means spiral. And if there's any truth to the fact that there are topics that these guys like Bro Sanchez and others won't speak about and won't touch upon, that could they be controlled? Is it possible? I don't know. It could be. I hope that I'm not controlled. I don't believe that I am controlled. And but I do believe that there has to be something to the effect of progressive conversations, or in not acknowledging some of the core values of humanity that would then allow us to really grow and move forward. Like a person, I distrust globe busters and vegan more. All right. I mean, you could distrust them more, but then here's the thing. This is what I'm saying. Everybody does not know. There's so many different niches inside of this said flat earth community that there's possibly a gatekeeper for each niche, right? Most of the black conscious people don't know who Globebusters is, and if they do, they only know about him through, say, a Bro Sanchez, a Dread, or what have you. A lot of the preppy guys may not know of Bro Sanchez. They may know of D Marble, right? A lot of the white people may know of Globebusters or Patricia or these other people. It's all different. It's all just like music. You have different genres, different niches for different people, right? And so my thing about them is, are they adding to the progression of the people, of the progression of humanity, or are we just stuck with just knowing that the earth is flat and just having debates and talking about debunking different stuff that really doesn't, matter? A lot of moot points. What matters? What solutions can we create? What's at the core of our our pain? What's next is such a good question. Appreciate you, 450 Marber. Yep. What is next? What is really next? Because we know now. This is where I go backwards. The last thing that I was studying. What were you studying before you ran into flat Earth? Wilson Flamenco, bro, was out of line. I guess you were there, bro, Wilson Flamenco, and I appreciate you for sharing and not being someone who. Because see, here's the other part of the game. There's a people who follow Bro Sanchez and don't care if he was wrong or right. They're gonna stand with him, and some who have chosen to stand against me, and it's cool. It's really, it just shows me who you are. It just shows me that you're willing to just be. It's almost like the code of honor with the cops. If you're a good-hearted police officer, I believe there are some, and you see your fellow officer do some BS, and you just have to be quiet about it. Like, is that what we're living in? Like, that's, to me, is crazy. Gardening, philosophy, handyman services. That's great stuff to be talking about, right? We need to be having this conversation, and this is what my intention, and not to give too much of what I want to do in the future out, but it's real, and if anyone who wants to do it, then it's even welcomed, right? Have conversations with the people who have been living. Well, let me just step back one more, right? Before I was studying flat Earth, I was studying on Aboriginal Americans, right? I'm what they call black, or what they call African American, but none of that matters, because none of those words can attach me back to who I am, because none of those are who I am. I'm not actually black, I'm brown, right? My hair is more black than me, right? I'm over my skin color, right? So what am I, right? The original peoples of Jamaica were Arawaks and Tainos, and those people still have rights to land in the Americas, from the U.S., where the islands, all the way from Alaska to Chile is the Americas. And we all have most of us are connected to this land. And there are treaties that were put in place that most of us aren't getting to see because they're distracted by other stuff. Wait, no, wait. No, the earth is flat. No, wait. The astrology, wait. But what about what's going on with the people? And if we are to make a move as a people, if you don't have your identity, how can you make a move as a people? That's why I want to get back into the Aboriginal talk a lot more for the people of the Americas, the copper-colored Americans, right? If you look at the 1828 dictionary, if I'm not mistaken, online, right? You can actually go to Webster's dictionary online. You want to come? I'm coming. All right. If you look on the Webster's dictionary online, 1828 dictionary, it'll tell you that the American means of the copper-colored people of the Americas, right? Hey, if I pull out a penny out of my pocket, guess what? Copper-colored, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody else or worse than anybody else. It just means that I want to help people identify with that. And it just seems like the conscious of the flat earth community seems to just take away from that and say, hey, we're all one. Hey, we're this and that. But what about the people who don't want us to strive, who don't want us to win? Right? And I'm going to cut this video in about another minute or so, and which brings me to a point of a video that I seen recently where they mentioned the Jesuits who run everything pretty much in the world, in the sports, entertainment, and so forth. And are these people who are on these major flat earth channels talking about we're running with the Jesuits, so forth and stuff like that? More on that later. My name is Ken Beckford. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. If you like this video, like it, comment. If you got any questions, please share it in the comment box, and make sure you click the bell so you'll be notified of what's going on. If you don't like this video, put a thumb down. If you like it, put a thumbs up. To be realistic, it will take a long time for the lies to stop lying and the thieves to stop stealing, so I'm not counting on the intellectual emancipation. I appreciate that, but we will be free by way of knowledge. So we got to empower ourselves, because of the lack of it is why we destroyed, right? Appreciate you, Billy. Appreciate you, Rune. Please go into that more. Yes, yeah, it's really hard for Europeans to understand. Thank you, Rune. See, and that's an important conversation, because now if we have the help from the peoples all across, I bet. So, all right. So, what was I saying? I just was trying to close out. In closing, yeah, y'all. We got this. Just stay. Just put on the whole armor of God, man. At the end of the day. And what does that mean? I'm not religious. I'm not spooked out. I'm not, on that type of time. It's just that we gotta, stay awake to the ways of the world. This shit is deep.